If your dog suddenly stops greeting you, don't ignore this warning sign. The moment you open your front door, you expect it. That sound, the paws racing across the floor, the tail wagging like crazy, that little excited jump, like you're the most important thing in the world. But imagine this, one day you come home and your dog doesn't run to you. No excitement, no tail wag, no happy face. They just stay there. And if you think, oh, they're just tired, stop. Because that one small change might be your dog trying to tell you something serious. So let me ask you a question. If your dog suddenly stops greeting you the way they always did, what are they really trying to say? Most people assume it's mood or stubbornness, or they're growing out of it. But dogs don't just randomly change their greeting behavior, not without a reason. And the reason is usually deeper than you think, because greeting you isn't just excitement, it's communication, it's bonding, it's emotional survival, and when it stops, something is happening. Now listen closely, because by the end of this video, you're going to see your dog in a completely different way. And more importantly, you might catch something early before it becomes a problem you can't undo. Here's the truth. Your dog greeting you is not just a cute habit. It's a ritual, a routine built into their brain. In dog psychology, routines equal safety. They're like emotional anchors. Every time you leave, your dog experiences something called separation stress, even if it's mild, and when you return, your dog's brain gets relief. That relief shows up as excitement. It's like their way of saying, you came back, I'm safe again. So when your dog suddenly stops doing it, it means that relief is gone, and the scary part is the reason could be emotional, or physical, or both, but most owners miss the early signs because the change feels small, it feels like nothing, and that's exactly why it's dangerous, because dogs don't scream for help, they whisper. Now let's break it down. There are several hidden reasons your dog might stop greeting you, and the first one is the most overlooked: pain. Yes, pain. Your dog might not be ignoring you. They might be hurting. Dogs are masters of hiding discomfort in the wild. Showing pain makes you a target. So even domestic dogs still have that instinct. They'll eat, they'll walk, they'll even wag their tail sometimes. But when you come home, greeting you requires energy. It requires movement, jumping, spinning, running. And if your dog has joint pain, stomach pain, tooth pain, or even internal issues, they may choose to stay still, not because they don't love you, but because moving hurts. And here's the chilling part. The first sign of a serious illness is often a change in behavior, not a visible symptom. So when your dog stops greeting you, it could be the earliest signal that something inside their body is wrong. But wait, because there's another reason that feels even more personal, and this is where most owners start feeling hurt. Your dog might be emotionally shutting down, and yes, dogs can emotionally shut down. People think dogs are simple: eat, sleep, play, repeat. But dogs are emotional creatures. They build attachment, they build trust, they build patterns. And if something breaks that trust, they don't always react with aggression. Sometimes they react with silence. Let's say you accidentally scared them. Maybe you yelled, maybe you punished them harshly, maybe you grabbed their collar too hard, or maybe something happened that you didn't even notice. Like someone else in the house scolding them to you. It's just a moment, but to your dog it becomes a memory. And in dog psychology, emotional memory is tied to association, meaning they don't just remember what happened, they remember how it felt. So the next time you walk in the door, instead of feeling safe, they feel uncertain. And uncertainty kills excitement. But here's the twist. Sometimes it's not about fear. Sometimes it's about disappointment, because dogs learn patterns quickly. If your dog runs to greet you every day and you ignore them, push them away, or instantly start scrolling your phone, they learn something. They learn, my excitement doesn't matter, and slowly, they stop offering it. This is painful to hear, but it's true. Your dog doesn't stop greeting you because they stop leaving. The moment will be good. And once you understand that, you realize how deeply your dog is watching you. But don't panic yet, because there's another possibility that most people don't expect at all, and it's terrifying because it can happen overnight. Your dog may be depressed. Yes, dogs can experience depression, not in the same way humans do, but emotionally, they can fall into a low state. A change in environment, a new baby, a new pet, moving houses, losing another dog, or even losing a person in the home. Your dog notices everything, and when their world shifts, they can go quiet, they can sleep more, they can stop playing, and one of the first things they stop doing is greeting. Because greeting takes joy, and depression steals joy. So if your dog suddenly stops greeting you, ask yourself, has something changed recently? Even something small, even your schedule, even your stress level, because dogs don't just respond to events, they respond to energy. Which brings us to the next reason, and this one is going to hit hard. Your dog might be mirroring you. Most people don't realize this, but dogs are emotional mirrors. They read facial expressions, they read posture, they read breathing. They even read your tone before you speak. If you've been coming home stressed, silent, angry, or emotionally distant, your dog will feel it, and over time, they adjust. They become cautious. They stop celebrating you, not because they don't want to, but because your energy tells them, this is not a safe moment. Think about that. Your dog might be reacting to your emotions more than your actions, and the scary part is, you may not even realize you've changed, but your dog does. They always do, and if this is already making you see your dog differently, hit like and subscribe, because what I'm about to explain next might save your dog's life one day, because now we need to talk about the most urgent reason. Your dog may be developing cognitive decline, dog dementia. Yes, it's real, and it often starts with something subtle. A dog who used to greet you every day suddenly looks confused, or doesn't recognize the sound of your keys, or doesn't respond to the door. At first, it looks like laziness, but it's not. It's the brain slowing down, the brain forgetting patterns, forgetting rituals, forgetting timing. And if your dog is older and they stop greeting you, you should pay close attention, because it could be the early stages of cognitive dysfunction. But here's where things get even deeper, because there's another reason your dog may stop greeting you, and it's not illness, it's not depression, it's not fear, it's something even more hidden. Your dog might be testing the bond. Yes, dogs sometimes test relationships, not like humans do, but through behavior. If your dog feels insecure about your attention, or if they feel replaced, they may stop greeting you to see what you do. They're basically saying, will you come to me if I don't come to you? This is extremely common when owners start spending more time with someone else, a new partner, a baby, a new pet, or even just more time at work. Your dog doesn't understand your reasons, they only understand the emotional result. Less connection, less presence, less bonding, so they pull back. And when you walk in the door, they stay distant. Not because they don't love you, but because they're hurt. Yes, dogs can feel hurt. Not in words, but in behavior. Now, let's pause for a second, because this is where most people make a mistake. When your dog stops greeting you, most owners respond in one of two ways. They either ignore it, or they punish it. They'll say, what's wrong with you? Or they'll force the dog to come, or they'll feel offended. But that reaction is exactly what makes it worse. Because if your dog is dealing with pain, you're pressuring them. If your dog is depressed, you're adding stress. If your dog is scared, you're confirming their fear. So the correct response isn't anger, it's observation. You need to become a detective. And here are the signs that tell you whether it's emotional or medical. If your dog stops greeting you, but still eats normally, still plays, still acts excited outside, it might be emotional. But if your dog stops greeting you and also sleeps more, moves slower, avoids stairs, or stops jumping, that's a pain warning. And if your dog stops greeting you and seems confused, wanders, stares at walls, or forgets commands, that's cognitive decline. But there's one sign that should make you act immediately. If your dog stops greeting you and starts hiding, under the bed, behind furniture, in corners, that is not being moody, that is distress, that is fear or illness, and it can escalate fast. Now let's talk about something most people never consider. Your dog might have learned that greeting you leads to something unpleasant. For example, you come home, you greet them, and then you immediately leave again. Or you grab their leash aggressively, or you scold them for jumping, or you put them in a crate. Over time, your dog connects the greeting with a negative outcome. So their brain says, if I don't greet, maybe I avoid the bad part. And this is called negative association conditioning. It's psychology. Your dog is not being stubborn, they're being smart. They're protecting themselves emotionally. But what makes this even more heartbreaking is that your dog still loves you the same. They just don't feel safe expressing it. And that's when the bond starts to crack. But here's the good news. This can be repaired. And the way you repair it is powerful. You don't force greetings. You invite them. You rebuild safety. The next time you come home, don't rush in loudly. Don't shout their name. Don't pressure them. Instead, walk in calmly. Lower your voice. Sit down and wait. Let your dog come to you. And when they do, reward them. Soft touch, gentle voice, calm affection. Make the greeting feel safe again. Because what your dog needs in that moment is not excitement, it's reassurance. Now here's the part that almost no one talks about. Sometimes your dog stops greeting you because they've matured. Yes, this is real. Puppies greet like fireworks, but adult dogs become calmer. However, this is only normal if the change is gradual. If it happens slowly over months, that's maturity. But if it happens suddenly in a week or a few days, that's a signal. Dogs don't flip personalities overnight without a cause, so never ignore a sudden change. Because a sudden change is your dog's way of saying, something is wrong, and I want you to remember this. Dogs don't have language, they don't have words. They can't tell you, my stomach hurts. They can't say, I'm anxious. They can't say, I feel disconnected from you. So they use behavior, and greeting you is one of the biggest emotional behaviors they have. It's their love letter, it's their celebration, it's their proof of connection. So when it disappears, it's like your dog stopped writing letters, not because they forgot you, but because something inside them changed. Now, I want to take you deeper because there's a hidden reason that's even scarier than illness, and it's something that many owners accidentally create without realizing. Your dog might have stopped greeting you because they've learned you're unpredictable. If sometimes you come home loving, and other times you come home angry, sometimes you cuddle them, and other times you push them away. Your dog's brain can't predict the outcome, and when animals can't predict, they become cautious, they stop initiating, they stop approaching because the safest thing in an unpredictable environment is distance. And if that sounds intense, it's because it is your dog doesn't judge you, they don't hate you, they adapt, and adaptation can look like emotional silence. So if you want to rebuild the greeting, you need to rebuild consistency. Your dog needs to know every time you come home you're safe. Now, let's talk about what you should do immediately if this happens. First, watch your dog's body language. Are their ears back? Is their tail low? Are they licking their lips? Are they yawning? Because dogs yawn when they're stressed. Lip licking is stress. Avoiding eye contact is stress. Second, check their movement. Are they stiff? Are they limping? Do they avoid jumping? Third, check their routine. Are they eating the same, sleeping more, drinking more? Because changes in water intake can be a medical sign. And fourth, check your relationship. Have you been busy? Have you been distracted? Have you been less affectionate? Because your dog feels that absence even if you don't. And if your dog has stopped greeting you for more than a few days, especially if it's sudden, you need to consider a vet visit, not because you're overreacting, but because early detection saves lives. Now, I want to tell you something emotional, something real. Most dog owners think love is measured by tail wags, by excitement, by kisses, by jumps, but love isn't always loud. Sometimes love becomes quiet, and when your dog stops greeting you, it doesn't always mean love is gone. Sometimes it means your dog is struggling, and they're hoping you notice, because you are their entire world. You are their safety, their pack, their home, and when they stop running to you, it's not a rejection, it's a message that says, please look closer. And here's the final insight, the one that most owners never realize. Your dog's greeting is not for you, it's for them. It's how they regulate emotion, it's how they release stress, it's how they reconnect. So if your dog stops greeting you, it means their emotional system is disrupted, and that disruption always has a cause, always. Your job isn't to take it personally, your job is to listen, to observe, to respond with care, because your dog isn't just a pet, they're a living heart that depends on you. And if they suddenly stop greeting you, don't ignore it, don't laugh it off, don't assume they're being lazy, because it could be pain, it could be sadness, it could be fear, or it could be something happening inside their body that they can't explain. But if you catch it early, you can change everything. So tonight, when you come home, watch them, look at their eyes, look at their posture, look at their energy, because your dog is always talking, even in silence. And remember, your dog isn't just behaving, they're communicating, and sometimes the quietest message is the most important one.